she was saying, everyone in the building already told me if I list at this number that they're going to be disappointed because I'm bringing down the value of their house. But that's the reality. That's how it works. Like, people are listening to the wrong opinions.
The March sales numbers are in, and that's what we're talking about in this episode. Let's go.
Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast, your go-to source for raw, unfiltered stories and expert tips. Whether you're a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord, or realtor, join us as we dive into the world of real estate.
No, Batman.
I forgot we had the new intro to the podcast, the video component of it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I watched it the other day.
It's nice.
Yeah, I don't usually listen to or watch our podcast, but I can't remember which one it was. I was playing it back a couple nights ago. It was good.
For any particular reason?
No. It just somehow appeared in front of me. I don't know what I was doing.
Ooh, the algorithms got you.
Yeah, so I thought I would listen to it.
On the YouTube.
I was here, and I think I was the only one here at the time, so I just turned it on. How are you today?
I watch and listen to every podcast.
Great. How are you today?
I'm well.
Good.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to our event tonight. So for those who don't know,
it's not an event.
Sure it is. I mean, anything is an event.
It's just, no, when we say event, people think of like our client events or a team event, or we just had our bowling event.
Yes, we did.
Which was fun.
Yeah, no. So for tonight, Ariel and I usually will take each other out for dinner for our birthdays. So my birthday was in March, and we've been busy, so we didn't get around to it. So we're going to, where are we going? An indoor golf.
It's called Golf On.
Golf On.
In the old Sheridan Mall, which they call something else now. I don't know. It's Air Mills Parkway, just north of the QEW, on the east side of Air Mills.
Yep.
And that mall, I don't know what's happening there. They're turning it into some sort of a home building. Do you remember there used to be a place for, Highway 400 and Highway 7 where you could go in and there was all the different manufacturers that, I don't know if it still exists.
I don't remember.
With all of the
just
appliances. It's almost like
it's like a auto mall.
Yeah, auto mall.
For homes.
It's
a good idea.
They're turning it into this one-stop shop where you got the tiling place, you got the carpet place, you have the cabinet place. So if you're doing a reno or a build, you can go in there and speak to them directly and order and go to their showroom.
That's what they're doing with
it looks
the
like
new
most of the
mall. Nice.
Yeah.
Except they have the golf simulation.
Yeah.
thing.
So Golf On. So they have 12 simulator, whatever you call them, booths.
That's come a long way quickly.
Yeah.
It's very common nowadays.
It's pretty cool technology. Like this, I'm excited to try it because, as you know, I want to get out golfing more, and I want you to get out golfing with me this year.
Well, that's why I brought up earlier talking about how right now it's very easy for me to pull a muscle, and it's driving me crazy. So I'll have to stretch before we go. But anyways, it should be good. And then we're going to grab some dinner at Il Fornello.
Yeah.
Some pizza or pasta.
Yeah, I won't get the pizza, but I don't know what else is on. You said their pizza's good, though, so that's always tempting.
It's been a long time, but I do remember it as
or
being
we
good.
Can share.
Share what?
A pizza.
Oh.
And get something else.
Sure. Whatever floats your boat. So today
Are you going to have a glass of red wine tonight?
I'm undecided because I've not been drinking during the week. And I've enjoyed it because I do get groggy when I'm drinking. As I get older, like even one or two, I feel it.
Yeah.
So I usually limit it to the weekends when
I had
I'm
like
not
5 or
working
6
as much.
whiskeys last night, and
Did you finish that bottle?
No, God, no.
All right, let's get into it. So today, we're kind of a general conversation, but we were talking about how the March statistics came out.
Yep.
So I'll let you take over because you were.
The one thing that stood out to me, and we can talk about why that might be, why that happened, and why we're seeing what we're seeing in the market. But the stat was the Toronto Real Estate Board reported numbers for March of 2025 were the lowest that it's been in March since 1998.
For number of sales?
Yes.
Yes.
So volume.
Yeah.
So, 27 years.
Which is substantial given that there's, who knows how many more houses, proportionately that's horrible.
Right.
Right? Because there's that many more properties.
Right.
So.
Now, I looked at the numbers prior to 98, and 98, for whatever reason, was a pretty good year in March for sales. But the fact that it's the lowest it's been in March for 27 years, kind of surprising.
Well, and I think the reason is because it's funny because, we're immersed in this stuff. So we do see that there are quite a number of properties selling in multiple offers still. And they're not even necessarily unique properties or overly fancy. Like I was looking at one the other day and it was just very average. In fact, we were surprised it showed nowhere near as nice as it did in person as we assumed it would based on the online presence and photos and whatnot. And there was a few other similar ones. It was just slightly bigger, had a nicer layout. So it was a bit unique from that perspective. And they had 12 offers on the place and it sold for more than I expected. Not significantly more, but like 10 grand more. I estimated it sell for 710. It ended up going for 725.
A townhouse?
Yeah, a townhouse in Georgetown. And so I think...
Freehold or a condo?
That was a freehold. No, sorry, that was a condo. Condo townhouse.
That's actually a topic I wanted to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about that in the next podcast, is townhomes with fees attached to it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because in Georgetown, as an example, it's very difficult to find a true freehold.
Yeah.
With no fees attached to it in terms of townhomes.
Absolutely. And I think one of the problems that's contributing to the low sales is still a distorted perception of, from a seller's perspective, of what they think they can sell for. Like everything's just a lot of overpriced inventory. And I had this discussion with a client recently. I gave them my valuation for their property, and they're really great clients, past clients, lots, done several deals with this person and the immediate family. So, they trust us, but it took a bit of convincing on the price. And, this one particular instance, she was telling me, I'll trust you, Adrian. I'll do whatever you say is right. And I showed her all the numbers. So, I substantiated my claims, but she was saying, everyone in the building already told me if I list at this number that they're going to be disappointed because I'm bringing down the value of their house. And that's the reality. That's how it works. Like people are listening to the wrong opinions.
Yeah.
Right. And they get so fixated on it. I don't know why. Maybe because they believe it, or maybe they're afraid that if I guess the fear of missing out on something, and we see it all the time. We'll list a house for the right price, get it sold quickly, and the homeowners might be like, oh, did we leave money on the table? So,
well, the thing to remember as a consumer, I'm just turning down the music in the other room there. You, as a realtor, you are not doing yourself any justice by selling it for below market value.
No. Because
the chances of somebody being impressed and calling you because you sold that home dwindle significantly, right? Like if the home's worth $1 million and you're the realtor that sold it for $950, you think the neighbor's going to call you and say, hey, great job. You want to sell mine?
Right.
No. So a good realtor will make sure that it's positioned to do very well and then negotiate even beyond what that initial offer might be or a second offer might be.
Yeah.
To squeeze the lemon, right? Because the more money we get for it, the better we look, the better stats, the better our stats are, and the more likeliness or the likelihood of somebody calling us to say, hey, I live on that street, which does happen quite often. So
there's been
the fact of the matter is, you have to price it based on what's going to happen in the market in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. And we don't know. We are just guessing.
Well, we have, we can gauge it based on activity and just news.
Right.
Like
inventory, how many, what's the supply like in the market? How many days of supply are there currently in that neighborhood or for that type of property? Mm-hmm. There are a few things that you can do.
Other considerations are things like interest rate adjustments, although it's had little to no impact on the market over the last few.
Do you think there's another one coming?
I suspect so.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But I don't think it'll impact the market at all.
I don't think it will make a difference.
I think the next thing that may stimulate the market is in Canada anyways, is the elections at the end of the month. I think that could. I think there's a lot of uncertainty about which way that's going to go. And then as things settle down in the States with Trump and his tariffs, and once people start to get more comfortable with that.
Well, the other thing to remember now, too, is the stock market in the last couple of weeks has really taken a beating.
Yeah.
And even some of the more stable investments like ETFs, as an example, have pulled back significantly over their peak values this year.
Yeah.
So that impacts potentially somebody's down payment. So a first-time home buyer, as an example, that may have
retirees.
They may have had a down payment invested in the stock market in their RSPs, and now they want to pull it out. But now they're $5,000 less than they had or whatever, and that might delay their decision. But then it also may bring the prices down that way too, right? Because and we saw that with one of our recent townhome sales, where the townhome market for a period of 2-3 weeks in March just took a pretty nice dip in terms of value, about, I would say, what was it, maybe 4 or 5%. Mm-hmm. So,
I had that conversation with someone 2 days ago, and I said 5%.
Yeah,
exactly.
In just a matter of weeks, and that's just based on the supply, the amount of inventory on the market, and then the buyers that are out there willing to buy. So I don't know. At some point, I think the dam is gonna break. I don't know if it's gonna jolt the prices up significantly, but once get through the elections, things quiet down in the States, stock market maybe rebounds a little bit, then the people that have been on the sidelines are going to get moving. Pardon the pun.
Yes. I think it's important for homeowners to really hire someone that they trust and actually just leave it in their hands.
Right.
Like, I can understand.
Those are always the best sales. If you think about...
we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
Always.
They're always the best sales. The clients that basically say, here are the keys, tell me where to sign and what I'm signing, and you want to price it at that? That's what you think is best? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, you want me to paint this wall? I'll paint this wall. You want me to change that light? I'll change that light.
Yeah.
Every time
you want me to go on
follows
vacation
our process,
for the first week the home is on the market, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think too, when it comes to like what I was referring to with the whole uncertainty about trusting your agent on pricing, I think that's really important. I mean, hopefully you have someone that's competent, they know what they're doing, and if you do, then I encourage you to listen to them. But a couple other scenarios, I had one.
But hang on a second before you get into that. You said that's assuming they're competent.
Well, hopefully you can determine whether or not the person you're hiring is, which clearly is not always the case.
Right.
But I guess on that note, don't just hire someone because they were referred to you by a friend.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence, interview a few people, and understand your options.
Yeah. Or that their commission is lower.
Certainly, yeah. Don't hire someone based on price alone. So 2 more examples I think were interesting. Was one, and we've had this happen before several times, a property in Guelph we sold not long ago, listed it, got an offer on, I think it was day 1, within 24 hours, and it was for the full asking price. There was no condition except sale of buyer's property. So ultimately, we ended up not accepting it because it was too early for us to put things on hold while they got their home for sale. But during the process of discussing it, my clients started to get that sense of, maybe we should try to increase the price. Maybe we're not asking enough, or maybe we should wait until after the open houses to give them an answer because we want to get more people through. And my response was, well, based on everything we're seeing in the market, this is unusual. And most of our listings are not getting offers, certainly not this quickly. And I would encourage you to seriously consider it. Despite that one clause, which unfortunately we weren't able to get them to remove, which was what we were trying to do. And, so they had that hesitation, and we didn't end up accepting the offer ultimately. And then it took a month to get another offer. So, they had this fear that, oh my goodness, maybe we priced too low. Maybe we should wait a little bit longer. And I'm like, no.
What did it end up selling for?
Like $5,000 less. Like it was priced perfectly.
Right.
I can't remember. We listed it for $820. We got $815. But their fear was, let's wait for the open houses and because they thought that maybe they had underpriced themselves or shortchanged themselves.
It's easy to feel that way though as a seller because, you think, it must have been priced really low. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I ate some sriracha with my...
You rubbing your eyes?
And I just rubbed my eye, and somehow I washed my hands twice since then, but maybe, burning. What the fuck was I saying? I feel like I'm on the show Hot Ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll give you, and while you think of it, I got another situation very similar. Oh, by the way, for those watching, I'm wearing my Batman shirt today. So shout out to my daughters. Noticed. Tessa and McKenna. They bought me this for my birthday. I told them I'd wear it on the podcast. And, so another scenario. We had a house in Oakville, and it goes on the market, and then we get a lead. I'm doing air quotes for those listening. It came through our website, and it was just a message from somebody who lives in the general area, a couple streets over, saying, "Why did you price it so low?" So I responded. We had a few emails back and forth, and he was saying, I watched the market. I know this neighborhood. You're way undervalued. And so that's, another example of someone who thinks they know what they're talking about, but
was it priced low?
No, we had to do a subsidy. It was priced low compared to the houses on the market, but nothing was selling. We ended up having to do, after almost, it was just after 2 months, we did almost $100K price reduction off of the...
Was this that property in Oakville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that got sold. And still to this day, nothing has sold. So, here's somebody on the sidelines watching the activity who doesn't do it for a profession, but is, giving their advice, and it's wrong advice. And there's a lot of people out there who are actively getting ready to sell, who are listening to the wrong people, and it will be detrimental to your sale. So I think it's really important to know or to work with someone that knows what they're doing.
Well, it's a buyer's market. The sales volume is down significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Although there's signs of it, picking up as the weather is getting warmer.
You're always so optimistic.
Well, there's reason to be optimistic.
Okay.
Why?
Well, that's part of being an optimistic person. You're always looking for reasons to be optimistic because you're positive.
That's right.
With you, I think it only pertains to the real estate, though.
Thanks.
You're generally grumpy.
I'm generally grumpy.
Oh, no, I am. Sorry. They refer to me as Nancy. Actually, I haven't had that for a while.
Yeah, that's true. You've changed your ways.
Yeah.
Anywho, a lot of good things coming down the pipeline for the KT. Are you smirking because I'm talking about good things? Because you're being optimistic again. Listen, cocksucker.
Anyways, I think the market hopefully will improve. My prediction to everybody has been that there is, light at the end of the tunnel. I think
optimistic.
I'm being optimistic. I think once Trump's 100 days is done, lots happening. Once our election is done, I think those two uncertainties is causing a lot of hesitation.
Yeah.
So I think that will change things a lot. I don't think it's going to have a profound impact. We're not going to see any major spikes or adjustments. If we do, there'll be like little micro blips here and there. But I think for the balance of the year, we'll be slightly trending upwards.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, nice chatting with you. So next podcast we're going to talk is about those townhomes, freehold versus condos.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Fees, townhomes with fees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
All right.
See you then.
Ciao.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to episode 335 of the Real Estate Podcast. Leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about the market, or if you have any questions. Give us some ideas of any topics that you want to hear us chat about in upcoming episodes as well. Give us some love. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next week.